Your approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
And we're back with more Slow Living Radio right here on CRN Digital Talk Coast to Coast. I'm Steve Andrews.
I'm Sally James, and he's Michael Horn.
And he's Michael Horn. If you're just joining us, our guest tonight is Michael Horn, president and founder of CRN Radio Network. And we've had a really interesting visit with Michael so far. Talked all about it, really a fabulous career here that spanned, what, Michael, 30-some years?
Oh, yeah, easily.
Easily. I mean, and it's hard to believe because we're streaming right now, and you can see he's a very young man. So how you come up with that 30 years, we don't know. But that's why I say he's lived like three lifetimes.
Could be my 40th year in the biz. I don't know. Something like 39,
well, considering
40.
you started in high school.
That's very true.
That's right. So that makes sense. So we were talking a bit just before the break about CRN and how you started it, how you got on the cable systems. You were really the world's first provider for cable radio.
Cable audio. Yes.
Cable audio, right. 24 hours a day. Right? Getting network spots, providing all this great content. How did you start selecting shows? What was the process? I'm talking about shows like ours, like Slow Living.
We could grab off the... Well, at first I thought, we're playing music. How do I know if anybody's listening? So I remembered as a kid, I used to listen to this guy on KFI radio, Dick Sinclair, that played polkas. And
Love Dick Sinclair.
No one would play polkas in their right mind, I thought. So I thought, I'll put polkas on. And people started writing and calling in because they found the station because they liked polkas.
I love polka.
Well, you could listen to it. That's good.
Does that worry
very
you?
Good. Yeah, I like that a lot.
By the way, we're celebrating here because it's your 1-year anniversary.
You know, and
the great Tomas has brought in some bubbly for you.
Oh, the Iron Horse too. I love the Iron Horse.
Stunning. This is coming from the office of Michael Horn.
Speaking of wine.
Yeah, speaking of wine, there's another dimension of Michael Horn, and that is, for many of our listeners, you may or may not know, he is a sommelier. And as a sommelier, Mr. Horn, what are some of your favorite wine regions?
Oh, regions.
Yes.
I love Napa. I love Sonoma, Russian River. You're talking about the AVAs. I love Sonoma Coast. I like Anderson Valley. I love Paso Robles.
We're trying to get...
I love... wait, let me think. There's some others I like, too. I like Santa Rita Hills. I enjoy France. Italy's got great wines. There's a couple of wines out of Australia that I like.
There we go. I knew Sally was raising her hands and waving her hands for some reason over there. Yeah,
there's some great wines out of Australia.
Great wines
and I've had a lot of them. Sally's.
Yeah, look, I was going to say, every time I know you're coming for dinner, I'm going to impress him. But I want to know, first of all, what got you first interested in wine and wanting to become a sommelier?
Well, we had a show on here that was a wine show. First, the food show that I do, we had Chef Piero from a local radio station, and he started doing the show. And then he was scheduled to go to the Napa Valley wine auction, and he had like a little heart problem, a little heart attack. It was a minor thing, but he couldn't show up. So
didn't you have Robert Lawrence Balzer on the show? A show
that was later on.
That was later on. I'm sorry,
and that's how I got to be a sommelier, and so that's how we got in the food show. And so I always liked wines. And then Robert Balzer, I met him at a wine taste, and he came on. I put him with Michael Jordan, the master sommelier at Napa Rose Restaurant at Disneyland. Not the basketball player, but the master sommelier, Michael Jordan. And those two worked together. And Michael Jordan kind of lit a fire under me to take some courses, and so that's how I became a certified sommelier, just going through those courses.
But you were obviously a wine lover as well.
Oh,
I mean, food and wine, man.
I always liked to go to Santa Barbara and wines. And if I could have gotten some inexpensive tickets, I would have gone to Australia.
Well, we'll have to try and work that out.
Oh, did I feel that little dig?
Zing.
I'm still working on it. I will have you know, but then I'd have to not take Stephen. So we'd have to. That's a bit of awkward one to juggle there. But anyway.
What you got to do that.
Moving on.
Got to do what you got to do. Anyway, so now you're a sommelier. So obviously you do find time to enjoy life.
Yes, I do. I love. I actually enjoy taking the shows on the road and kind of kicking back and focusing on the show without the other stuff that I do, and enjoying the areas that I'm at. I do enjoy.
Tell us about a favorite. I'm sorry, Stephen.
No, I was going to you first, Sally, because I've got another one.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm wondering if you have a favorite destination to go to relax. Where do you go that really makes you...
I do like where you guys do your show from. I like wine country in Napa, and I love Yountville, and I love the Santa Rosa, Sonoma area, because you can kind of explore. You get in the car, and you can end up on a peak or down in a valley, and then you can kick back. There's nice people there, and it's great restaurants. I mean, I always say those are the wine country, both Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Napa area, Yountville. probably one of the top 5 dining destinations in the world because of all the great
Well, that's
chefs.
just because you haven't been to Australia yet. I must
Well,
look on
They
that.
do
He's
have
waiting
good
for-
coffee there.
Yeah, we do.
Lattes.
You
Are we
do.
talking about the Vittorio coffee again?
Yeah,
That
we
is
are.
the best latte I've ever had. Your
Yeah.
lovely Sally here on the show. She turned me on at a gourmet food show on this. It was at Victoria. I've got it written down,
Yeah,
so
we're
I'll
in the
never
fancy
forget.
food show. It was
It's
Victoria
the
coffee.
greatest latte I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
It's just the cream, everything is just perfect.
Well, I think we're going to have to add
I
that
think we
sommelier
need to take Michael
barista.
down there to do the barista course next.
I think so. I think that'd be great. And for the show, for What's Cooking, Mike, how did What's Cooking start? What was the genesis of that?
Well, Chef Piero was doing a show called the Chef Piero Show, and so he left the radio station in L.A. and I said, "Come over here and do the show." We did it as a morning show with our vice president of operations, Paul, running the board, and so the 3 of us did the show. And it was at first the Chef Piero Show, and then we decided to call it the What's Cooking Show, and that's how it started.
Great show.
Yeah.
We listen to it every day.
Yes, yeah.
Of course, without Chef Piero. What he had is he used to
He
have
calls
a
in every once in a while.
Does he really? And he does a recipe on the air? He used to say chop and then set aside. So
Take 3 spinach, set aside.
So have you had
aside.
any really
mix them up in a
interesting,
bowl.
any interesting guests? I mean, I know you've had Graham Kerr on the show because we got
Love
to
the
come on that
chefs.
one too.
Love all that. Paul Prudhomme. Love all this. Wolfgang Puck on the show. You've been on the show. I love talking to the chefs, and I love the winemakers and the wine growers because they always tell stories. It's like to hear people's story.
Yes.
That's the fun part, is to hear what makes them tick. And I
Did
love to hear
Wolfgang
their
Puck have
passion.
a story?
Did who?
Wolfgang Puck have a tick?
Yeah, he's told me how he sold pots and pans on television.
Serious?
No, Wolfgang has a party. Wolfgang's story is because he created that whole genre of the restaurant style, the open kitchen.
Open kitchen. Yeah.
And when you go to his restaurant, if he's there and he's at a lot of them, you see him cooking there. It's like great fun.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about some favorite guests. So stay with us. Our guest tonight is Michael Horn, founder and president of CRN Radio Network. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Slow Living.